Please rise and join us for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Nicholson. Here. Councilwoman Marcotte.
Here.
Councilman Dooley.
Here.
Councilman Marcocia.
Here.
Supervisor Calavita.
Here. Good evening, everyone. We have our opportunity to address the board on a specific agenda item. No? Being none, well, it's a very short one, that's why. Appointments, we have in the Highway Department, we have the Superintendent of Highways, Rocco Latella, respectfully requesting the probationary appointment of Paul Dombeck to the full-time position of laborer, Group E, Step 2, Schedule 3, at the annual salary of $50,519, effective November 14th, 2022. If approved, he will be required to serve a probationary period, which will run not less than 12 weeks and not more than 52 weeks. The appointment, of course, is contingent upon the successful completion of the background investigation and pre-employment testing. Funds have been provided for in the budget, and Mr. Dombeck has worked for the town for a while on a part-time basis, and we kind of try everybody out before we make them a full-time employee. He did a very good job. So there's a resolution that I'll make to appoint Paul to the position of laborer, Group E, Step 2, Schedule 3, at this annual salary of $50,519, effective November 14th, 2022. Someone care to second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilman Marcocia.
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita.
Aye. Similarly, at the request of Mr. Latella, he is requesting the probationary appointment of Mike Romano to the full-time position of laborer, Group E, Step 2, Schedule 3, at the annual salary of $50,519, effective November 4th, 2022. And he will also have to serve a probationary period, and the appointment is contingent upon his successful completion of the background investigation and pre-employment testing. And funds have been provided for in our 2022 budget. Someone care to make a motion to appoint Mr. Romano?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilman Marcocia.
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita.
Aye. Next, we have appointments for Lake Isle Advisory Board, and we're delighted to recommend the following reappointments to the Lake Isle Advisory Board effective October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024. Brian Connolly, Donna DeMarco, and Joseph Santa Maria, and they were unanimously elected at the meeting. Also, in addition to that, Chris Scavati was also appointed to or elected, I should say, to the Lake Isle Advisory Board for the same effective period. Someone care to make a motion on all four of our residents who are three of which are going to continue with the board, one will start with the board.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, anybody? I'll second. Same, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilman Marcocia.
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita.
Aye. Approval of the minutes of the October 18th, 2022 Town Board meeting. Any modifications or amendments? There being none, I'll make a motion to approve same as submitted. Ask for a second.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilman Marcocia.
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita.
Aye. Next, we have correspondence. We have a single item, a memorandum from the assessor on a tax refund application for Section 77, Block 6, Lot 179B. Apparently, the percentage ratio of this property was off, as some of it's in Bronxville, some of it's in Eastchester. So the ratio of the amount of property in each, the town and the village, was off. So that was corrected, and that resulted in a refund from the town of $3,810.28. I'll make that motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilman Marcocia.
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita.
Aye. There being no miscellaneous business, councilmember reports. Councilman Marcocia.
Thank you, Supervisor. I just want to remind everybody that early voting is now open, so get out, exercise your right to vote, and that's all I have this evening. Thank you, Supervisor.
All right. Councilman Dooley.
I just want to acknowledge the Recreation and Parks Department for two great events this weekend, the Truck and Treat event and the Ragamuffin Parade, and thanks to EVAC, the police, and the fire department for participating. And also just a quick reminder that you shouldn't put your leaves in a parking space When you rake them out in the lawn, they take up space, number one, and they also become a fire hazard. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nicholson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Just a library news, just to add to the voting. Early voting is at the library, and it started October 29th, and it will run through this Sunday, November 6th. You could enjoy some time at the library. Tomorrow, there is the Mystery Club, and that's at 2:30, along with some crocheting on Thursday. And you don't want to miss this one. Baking with Tina is Monday, November 7th at 7 p.m. So for more information, you could go to eastchesterlibrary.org or call 914-793-5055. That is all I have. Thank you.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Thank you, Supervisor. I have no report this evening.
All right, for my own report, I want to hand to each board member a copy of the tentative budget, which we deliver on the first meeting after the 30th day of October, which is the day the budget has to be prepared by. And I'll just make a brief statement about it and let people know that, we're going to have a public budget hearing here, and we'll likely have a workshop with regard to Lake Isle and all that goes on there, perhaps a budget workshop on the budget itself per se, not just the Lake Isle portion. But I'm delighted to announce that the town 2023 tax rate increase for the town outside will be 0%. The total town budget for 2023 is $37,923,041, and the town-wide budget will generate 4.28% property tax increase. That's the town-wide. It's the smallest component of the budget. It's about a quarter of our budget. And the average house in the village of Bronxville, with an average assessment of $21,700, will pay $2.95 per month more in additional town taxes. And the average house in the village of Tuckahoe, with an assessment of $7,300, will pay $11.91 more for the entire year, or 99 cents per month, which obviously is a de minimis amount. So we're very pleased that we're able to do that, particularly for the town outside, which is a far more significant budget. Also, this has been kind of challenging with inflation out of control and, of course, supply chain issues. We're just as impacted as everybody else is, but we work tirelessly to bring a realistic budget in during these unprecedented times. This is also the 12th straight year that we are not exceeding the tax levy cap as well. And I would also add that there are a few other dynamics here that are worth noting. We're keeping our revenue estimates flat. Just slight increase in sales tax. It's easy to jack the revenue projections because that brings your rate down, but we're going to keep it the way it is so that, we don't get in trouble down the road if the projections are off. Also, our health insurance premiums will increase 7% in 2023. And naturally, of course, as we do every year, we have an increase in our pension contribution from, this year to the next, of $322,000. So all of that's all worked in there. We also have proposed settlements for our police contract and our CSEA contract. Those numbers are anticipated and worked in there as well. So generally speaking, the important thing to take away is that we are at, for the largest budget that we have, a 0% tax increase. We have not exceeded the tax cap. The New York State Comptroller has advised us that we have 0% stress, financial stress, and we're one of the few municipalities in Westchester with that designation. We're also in the top 10% of best fiscally managed towns, and we have just been advised that our Moody's AAA rating has been reaffirmed. A couple of months ago, we got the word on that. So we're in pretty strong shape, and that's why we can deliver a 0% tax increase, and I think that's the second or third year in a row. So with that being said, I want the public to know that we'll be conducting public hearings. We have workshops going on. All the board members are all going to dive in. I mean, they've all had their say in contributions for the preparation of this, but we're going to, keep massaging this, keep working at it, looking at it from the top down, from the bottom up, squeezing it a little bit more, and then seeing what we can do to perfect the budget, to make a good plan that's fiscally responsible, that keeps Eastchester affordable, but maintains, the high level of services we've all been accustomed and used to living in the town of Eastchester. So with that being said, that concludes my report, and that brings us to the second opportunity to address the board. Sure. Okay. He takes a long time, that's why he said it.
Make sure it'll be courteous and...
Yes, yes. Just come up and just give us your name and address, and you can discuss whatever you like, town business.
I don't think you want to know our name and addresses. But,
That's okay. Just give us your name.
Donna Hastings, 34 Alta Drive.
Great.
Our rat situation. Are we getting any better? We are finding them. It's very disgusting. They're in my house. I had one live one that came up on my ring off of my doggy cam, and it was in the crate where my dog was. And then maybe 3 weeks later, I had a dead one the following morning in my living room on the rug.
Yeah.
My neighbors, this is another neighbor, she had a live one in her house yesterday. The exterminator came, we finally caught it. But it's other neighbors, it's Mike DeChance. I know they've all have been in contact. I think her name is Margaret who answered
Yeah,
me back.
Margaret and Gary, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just disgusting. I mean, I have dogs, I watch her kids. The kids are crawling on my floors. I'm constantly washing everything with Clorox and bleach and...
Yeah, I was talking to Margaret the other day about it. Apparently, there were issues, I don't know if it's past tense yet, with the gas station there. Not, right,
Yeah.
like not the, what is it, the Sunoco or the Shell, the Mobile. And they were violated, they were advised to exterminate. Apparently, they found multiple dead ones because they exterminated. But,
Margaret said they weren't getting rid of them, so they asked them to hire a new exterminator.
right,
but-
and also, no, but we did find some, like on the town area. So we hired an exterminator.
I was just going to ask you that. Is
And- yep.
Eastchester doing anything
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah.
it?
We,
Because, yeah.
on our area, our property here, we're obviously responsible. So our exterminator went in and nuked a ton of them. But I just don't know why.
I mean, we had to
all of
hire
a
our
sudden,
own
it just boom, there's a
exterminators,
bunch
yeah.
of rodents in that area.
I know we're Chester Heights, so maybe because we're on the outskirts, they're not taking.
Now, but you know what it is? Rats come
No.
like, we had a similar problem like in the Leewood area. Rodents, rats, they love water. They're in water in pipes. And when there's excavation and work done,
Right.
like the Bronx River, they dug up all the underground pipes, and they were all over the place. And then after everything gets settled, they go back away. But I don't know what was going on in Chester
I mean, I've been there
Heights.
30 years, and I've never had
I know.
a mouse, nothing.
Never heard a
And
complaint about anybody. But I know the gas station, they
After this, I'll take a mouse
They-
over a rat.
They sealed up their garbage. I know that that whole building there.
Right.
I know J&G is under new construction now also. They're putting a new one in.
They won't open because
Yeah.
of this.
That's what I'm saying. So, maybe there was something going on back there, but Gary, who's our code enforcement officer, is on top of that, and he's all on top of the gas station, and then we are on top of our area, in that little parkette area.
I saw
They
all
saw
the
some
black
burrowed
boxes
holes,
there.
so we're doing that too. So hopefully, between all of us,
Okay.
we can get rid of this problem. But
All
we
right.
definitely recognize that there's an issue there, and
Okay.
I know they've been summoned and violated, and compelled to, to take action.
Right. I mean, I don't mind if they're outside, but like, keep them out of my
Yeah,
house.
but you don't want them around anyway, yeah.
You know?
Look, there's rats everywhere. Everywhere you go, they are. But there seems to be they're really present in that area right there. I know, it's a little nutsy.
I mean, neighbors are catching them. Yeah,
They're
catching
taking the
them 10
poison
at
in
a
and they're trying to
time.
get out and they're just dying. That's the trouble.
I mean, we walk the dogs up the block. They're dead all over the street down there by the Chinese restaurant and all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a cat lover, but
That's what
not a bad reason to
No,
get a
I
cat,
know. I have 2 dogs, believe me. I would get cats.
Yeah,
if
well,
I
they make a
didn't.
lot of noise when they see a little varmint, But anyway, we're on top of it,
She
and if
told
it
me to come
persists.
to the meeting, so that's why
Yep,
we're here.
of course, yeah.
The only ones
Happy to
here.
have you here. And, maybe others will identify other spots around,
Right.
that have issues. But, we're doing what we got to do on our end with enforcement, and we're taking care of our own property there also. So hopefully that abates the problem.
All right, she told me to keep in touch with her, so.
Sure, yeah, she's terrific. She
Anything
gets,
else?
Margaret's wonderful, yeah.
Okay, thank you
bet.
so much.
You're very welcome, no problem. You too.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good evening, everyone. David Levy, 220 Hillside Place, up Pawtucket. Usually it's the construction that brings them out.
Yeah.
When they did Molly Maguire's and
Yeah,
then the kilt, when they redid that, they were all over my backyard. But, they might be coming from Mount Vernon. There are more Democrats down in,
Well, I know that, but the gas station had a big problem. And then they were all over the place. They weren't sealing their garbage, and they're putting all the food in there. But there's more than that. It's definitely more than
It's
that.
because their boroughs were disturbed.
Yeah.
All right, so come to you with a couple of things. The diner. The diner's been closed now, for a year and a half, almost two? I know we have something in the zoning law, being it's non-conforming. If they don't use it for what they were using it for after 6 months, they have to reapply for non-conforming. Well, there's been a diner there in that neighborhood. This town could use a diner there. And I'm asking, maybe you could reconsider giving them a pass on that 6 months, because they would put them out was the coronavirus, was the Wuhan virus, the Joe Biden virus, whatever you want to call it. But that's why they went out of business. So the guy that owns the building, I'm sure he'd like to get somebody to put another diner in there, but it's probably difficult when the town says, oh no, it has not been a diner for 6 months, non-conforming, you can't put another diner in.
I think restaurants are permitted in the open retail business zones. So that's categorized as such. So I think they'd be okay putting a diner back. I just don't know that a diner is going back. And I don't want to breach any confidences, but the owners are looking to, do something differently. Even though they're a diner family, we'll see what they end up with, because proposals are coming to me, and
Right.
they're asking, what about this, what about that? So I'm not sure, but I would like to see a diner too. Remember, the original diner
was
was
across the
across the
street,
street,
yeah.
exactly.
Sure.
And then they moved it over, and, it was there forever. And honestly, we miss it. And the Scarsdale Metro Diner closed down too.
Oh, did it?
Yes, it did. So the only diner in town is in the village of Bronxville. And that's a nice little
That's
spot.
not a bad little.
Yeah.
Oh, so I got ahead of myself here. I forgot. Thank you for the lack of tax increase.
You're welcome.
I thought it was great. Kentucky went up $8 in 4 years, but to go up nothing, we're getting there, Tony. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, did the town workers get a bonus because of this covert? I noticed all the municipalities, all the cities in New York gave their municipal workers between $1,000 and $3,500 bonus that came, I believe, from the federal government for the the great work they did during the covert. Well, did our people get anything?
We're negotiating presently with the union, and it's a decent raise. I guess you could say it's worked in there. But no, we did not give a cash bonus
No.
to the employees. Some employees did get a small stipend for a lot of things, because we changed things around, we've restructured things, and they stayed that way because they turned out for the
Right.
better. But no, we did not administer a bonus,
All right, no,
COVID
I
bonus.
just saw like White Plains, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, they all gave their municipal workers some sort of cash bonus, anywhere from $1,000 to $3,500. I just wanted to know. The last row of seats used to be designated handicap because the arm moves up. But I noticed the sign is gone. I
That's
don't know if
strange, 'cause
they took it.
Actually, where you're standing, that podium's supposed to be up more,
Oh.
and that's supposed to be the wheelchair area. But, yeah, I'll look at it. I'll ask Franco to check it out.
All right,
'Cause
so-
no, there's supposed to be room, and there's room back there for a wheelchair to stay.
Right, but.
But it's far
the-
back there.
The armrest goes up in that chair, I guess, so you could put a wheelchair.
Oh, so you can go from the chair to the wheelchair to the chair.
So now, the problem with these Amazon drivers, to drive a delivery truck for Amazon, you don't need to have a CDL, okay? I watch these guys pull U-turns in the middle of Fisher Avenue. I watch him pull U-turns in the middle of Mill Road. You know, I'm walking around all the time. Today I was coming down White Plains Road from White Plains, and there was a Amazon truck backing up from the Leewood Drive down to where the War Memorial is. There's all sorts of traffic. It was about 1:30 in the afternoon, and this guy puts the truck in reverse and is backing down 22.
A box truck or like a van?
A big box truck, one of those
Yeah.
one of those square, big
Multi-gears,
square,
yeah.
But they have no, I mean, I watch these guys, they don't know how to drive. They don't put their blinkers on. They're not truck drivers. They're just guys that are getting a $20 an hour job, and they're making the best of it because they don't need a CDL, which I don't understand because they're delivering commercial goods. But it's a small, you know, it's not a big rig. Now, maybe you can look into that.
Yeah, I definitely will. You know, it's an issue of having an appropriate license. You get a ticket for that if you don't have the appropriate license.
Yeah, but no, because these are a single axle truck,
Okay.
you don't need a CDL.
Well, you know, the bigger issue is, and we all, just speaking of COVID, we all appreciated everyone that delivered everything during COVID. You know, people were stuck in their houses. They were living on, Amazon and, all the other places that delivered, including food deliveries and all. But I think what happened was there was nobody on the road, and it wasn't really a big problem.
Right.
But now everybody's back to work, everybody's back to school, and what I'm finding is people that are delivering things are just stopping their car right in the middle of the lane.
Right.
They're just pulling right in the middle of the lane, leaving the car running or the truck, walking in, and there's parking right there.
Right, but they don't park.
It's, whether it's the FedEx, the UPS, the DoorDash guy, they're just like, "Oh, good enough for me," and leave the car right in the
Right.
middle of the street. It's been very difficult to, like, if around Eastchester, as you know, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if somebody pulls that stunt, there's traffic's gonna be backed up for days.
Yeah, but on all the one-way streets that have parking on one side, they park out from the cars and you can't get by them.
Exactly.
All right, so, Leewood Tunnel is closed, or it's closing because they're putting a water line through. Now, I don't know if you're aware, they're putting a third track from Scarsdale to White Plains. Okay, so they have to put 2 new bridges in. They have to put a bridge in next to Leewood Tunnel. I believe they're going to do it on the Bronx River side, not on our side. And then they're going to have to put another bridge in for a single track up behind the county yard. Why could we not close Leewood Tunnel once and have them do the water main during the day and the bridge at night? Whoever's supposed to be coordinating this stuff dropped the ball. I don't understand why, all right? But now we're going to have the Leewood Tunnel closed for 5, 6 days for the water main. Then in next year or in a couple of months, they're going to close it to put a bridge on. Maybe you can talk to Hallen, that's the contractor who's doing that, to do the bridge at night?
Yeah, Dave, I don't know. First of all, I wasn't notified about this third line. For years and years, they had talked about that, but it never came to fruition.
It came to fruition March 2019. One of the first things they did in our town was they redid Crestwood Station. And a bunch of guys I worked with were doing the station over. I was talking to them. It was Imperial Steel, Imperial Iron. Talked to the Howland guys, and they're the ones that are doing the bridges. And I asked, well, Imperial going to do the bridges? They said, yeah, most likely, because when we put the 2 bridges in Fleetwood and in Bronxville, I worked on that job. And again, it was for Imperial, but I don't know who the general contractor was. You could reach out to Howland and ask him.
I may do that, or I'll call
Well, that's why I'm bringing
the
it up.
gentleman, Mohammed Seligman, who is the principal engineer for, I'm going to say Suez, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, no, that's
both
the
here.
water. I'm talking about
No,
the
but
MTA.
he would know what's going on because he's the coordinator.
Oh, all right.
But also, just generally speaking, you can't layer one job on top of another unless it's really convenient. Because if they're going underground with 42-inch high-pressured water lines, you can't really build above that because they've got to, that stuff's got to be moved around by crane and all.
You could have put the, well, maybe, I'm not sure, but
You
I've
never
seen
know,
it
but-
done.
worth
And-
looking into.
Come on, we know Suez Water's just sucking the water out of the Bronx River and giving it to us, so you kidding? High-pressure water line.
LT,
Okay.
what are they called? Viola.
Viola.
Yeah. So, all right, so now, the other day I was watching the news, sitting there watching news like that's all I do, and Joe Biden, Cuomo .20, and Schumer were hanging out with our other senator, Gillibrand. So I thought they were there to help Gillibrand get reelected. So I went online to see who was running against Gillibrand, and lo and behold, it's Schumer that's running up for reelection. There was nothing. There was nothing from the Republican Party. There's no signs anywhere, nothing to let us know that somebody's running against Schumer. I would think that if you didn't want to put any money in this guy's camp, fine. But they should have sent a notice to us or let us know. I mean, we really need to get rid of Chucky. I mean, I take the motto back at this point, and he's got to be older than Biden. Oh, no. Okay, so, everybody out there, Tom Fix is one of ours. He's from town. Let's get out there and vote for Tom. One of the reasons, I don't know if who knows, but one of the reasons we got a zero increase was Tony. Tony's a Republican. Watch what happens in Tuckahoe next year, okay? The liberal tax and spend people, they're coming around. We're one of the few solid Republican towns left. So, you people might want to watch, because it took a while. We got really beat up with the school board for about 15 years, and they're free dirt. All right. So, last.
We try not to,
I know.
try to avoid politics, but go ahead.
Last, Con Ed's ripped up Fisher Avenue 4 times, 6 times for gas leaks. They've ripped up 22 between the supermarket and the gas stations 4 times. Well, they have to get their crap together. I have to because I went by there yesterday, 2 days ago, walking up the block to go to the bank, smell gas. Come up to go over to Tony's in the morning, right there on Fisher Avenue by the mobile station, smell gas. It's leaking again. Okay, I don't know how much volume there is. I don't know if we get some. But these people, I don't know if it's that somebody in the plant is turning the valve up and it's too high, or they just get a little bump where there's too much pressure. But they keep ripping up our streets, tying things up.
Or the contractor does the poor job.
Well-
That's what happened at Lake Isle, Lakeshore Drive. They've paved Lakeshore Drive 3 times, right? Now you say, oh, it's nice, because it's about a $200,000 pave each time. But what's happened is, they're not roto-milling, they're just paving. So now, all these people that have driveways that slope toward the house, all the water from the road is going into the driveways, into the house, into the basement.
That was the contract. But Con Ed fixed the gas main on Fisher Avenue, and Con Ed fixed the gas main on 22. They were all Con Ed trucks there. They subbed it out to the welders. But, they like to raise our rates. They like to charge us more, but they can't do the job right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I always said, right, if you're only game in town, you can't drop the ball. And that's what's happening with them all the time. Luckily, they try to do the best they can, but we're not Con Ed, unfortunately. I
Well,
wish
listen.
we'd help out a little bit, but
yeah, well, that's part of the problem. Do the best you can. The thing is to do the job right.
Yeah,
And if you
period.
can't do it right, get somebody else. I don't know. All right, so that's it. Again, thank you for the zero increase.
you're all welcome. And don't forget, Veterans Day is on Friday the 11th, and we're having a ceremony at Memorial Park, and we're also commemorating the 50th anniversary of the installation of the monument when President Nixon came and was there with the 3/4 of the whole town. So it should be a nice day.
Can we
11
get-
o'clock on Friday.
Can we get a quick moment of silence for those who went before us to keep us where we are today?
Sure.
All right, for the people who went to the different wars and kept us free.
Yep,
All right,
we'll do
thank
that, absolutely. Well, I think that's a good suggestion. We'll close our meeting, adjourn our meeting with a moment of silence. Please join us. All right, thank you, everybody.